All right, let's move on to main topic number 2. And the second main topic today comes to us from Reg M, who writes, "Greetings and salutations, Giovanni. Thank you so much. Paramount made it official that A Quiet Place 2 is coming by giving it an official release date of May 15th, 2020. I loved A Quiet Place, but I'm a little stumped as to what they can do with a sequel. Wasn't the first one sort of perfect on its own? I'm still looking forward to it. I'm just not sure I see the point of it." So yeah, a little while ago we heard that it looked like Paramount was looking at doing a sequel to A Quiet Place. And it looked like they were going to do it. But now it's 100% official. They've set a release date for it and everything. It's coming in, I believe it was May 2020. Anyway, so they've got a release date. They're already moving on this thing. So once again, it raises the question with a lot of people, well, what do you do with it? What do you do? Now, I want to be careful here because there are still some people out there who haven't seen A Quiet Place. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, so I'm just going to be careful here. But that's a fair question to ask. What can you do with it? Where do you go with a sequel to this? Honestly, to me, I think there's a lot of different directions you can go. I think there's a lot of things you can do. The first and obvious one is you continue following Emily Blunt and her kids, right? That's the first and obvious idea and direction for them. What happens after the end of the first movie? Just continuing on with that. What happens after the end? That is one option. However, there are lots of other options. Like you can look at, much like The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead is all about the same thing. It's just looking at it from different groups of people's perspectives, right? You could look at another, like what happens if now we follow a new group of survivors that are living in the middle of a metropolis, like not out in some kind of empty farmland, but they're living in the middle of a metropolis. Maybe a movie that looks at the origin of it. Like one of the things that A Quiet Place didn't do, and I think it was a good decision that they didn't, is they didn't actually look at how did this all happen in the first place. They give you some vague references to it by some newspaper headlines, but that's it. So what if you do a movie now that looks at the first days of when the creatures and monsters show up? That's one way you can do it. What if you fast forward 3 years later, where now humanity has, maybe you get a little bit of a World War disease scenario where humanity is now kind of regrouped and now they're dealing together with this problem because there's still a problem. But now you've got all these creatures and you got all humanity and humanity now knows how they can defend themselves a bit. But now what do you do? My whole point here is this, is that there are a lot of different angles you can look at for a sequel to A Quiet Place. Whether it's a true sequel, whether it's a little bit of a flashback, whether it's from different characters' point of views, whether it's fast forwarding a couple of years into the future, whether it's looking at it like going more into the creatures themselves. There is a lot of different angles you can take. So is it a good idea to do a sequel? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. And I'm curious to see what other stories they're going to tell here. Now, does that mean that a sequel is going to be great? Obviously not. Maybe it'll be terrible, but maybe it'll be awesome. Maybe it'll be A Quiet Place's version of an Empire Strikes Back, and the sequel will be even better than the original. Who knows? We'll have to wait and find out. But yeah, I could totally see the rationale, the reasoning behind doing it. All right, let's move on to topic number 3.